2020 cornerback commit Jalen Huff has decommitted, and we're going to talk about it. And all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kid folk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. So it's OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today we're going to talk about 2020 cornerback Jalen Huff choosing to decommit from the University of Oklahoma. He dropped a tweet with a screenshot note explaining his decision. And I got to give him kudos because he laid out for a lot of folks the reasoning, right? And it was primarily the coaching staff change. Now, I don't necessarily think that Alex Grinch, being the defensive coordinator, influenced his change as much as people might think. But I do think that Carrie Cooke's being let go and finding another job tremendously influential to his decision to decommit. This is also the second defensive back of the two defensive backs that were committed to the 2020 class to decommit from the University of Oklahoma, both of which had tight ties with former secondary coach Carrie Cooke. I don't think either one of them is going to follow him to Texas Tech, but I do think the match of Carrie Cooke and Oklahoma was very appealing to both Darion Green-Warren and Jalen Huff. Huff a bit more than DGW because he's so far away and his contact was that guy. I think he wanted to play for Carrie Cooke at Oklahoma. And you've heard the scuttlebutt coming out of Oklahoma about who they're offering and why. We know that they're getting bigger at smaller positions. The smallest position on a football field for the defense is primarily corner. And while both of these guys are 6 feet tall, Jalen Huff and DGW, they are not exactly the kind of guys that have been offered recently by Alex Grinch and the staff since the staff change. Most of those guys are 6'2" to 6'3". When you can get a 6'4" guy in there, of course you're going to offer him. But my contention is it's very difficult to find a guy that is 6'2", 6'3", that absolutely wants to play corner, let alone safety. Usually those guys, they play wide receiver. Now, every once in a while, you'll find a guy like Ryan Watts, who is 6'3" and thinks of himself as a corner. He wants to develop into a shutdown, lockdown corner. And because he's so committed to doing that with his size, he's going to have his pick of wherever it is he wants to go play football, whether it be Texas, Ohio State, Oklahoma. The list continues to grow, and it will continue to grow because those guys just don't grow on trees. So in losing both of these defensive backs, you don't have a single defensive commit ahead of the spring game, for which we expect some dominoes to fall, but nobody knows who and how. We know that Oklahoma's going to do well in offensive recruiting, but the uphill climb for defensive recruiting is still there, and you were convincing guys like Jalen Huff that you were going to get opportunities to show people that you can absolutely play the position of cornerback in the Big 12. And Jalen Huff, in an interview I performed with him, where you can look at that interview right here, or right here, I forget where that thing pops up, he's expressed that was one of the reasons that he wanted to come was, look, I know they're going to throw the ball. I know they think the defense isn't very good, but that just means that I'm going to have lots of opportunities to pick off passes, and I'm looking forward to that. Also in this is an understated fact. He was on the same 7-on-7 team as Jadon Haswelwood, the same Jadon Haswelwood who is a wide receiver at the University of Oklahoma right now. And in being a teammate with Jadon Haswelwood, he went up against him on a regular basis. What does that mean? It means that he learned how to guard a guy who's larger than he is and make it tough on him, which means that he learned to be physical, get his hands on a guy and make it difficult for him to get off the line and do what he wants to do, which is something that OU fans have been begging to see from the defensive backs. Be more physical. Get your hands on these guys. Don't give easy releases or free releases, especially to these men that are larger than you are. And Jalen Huff was out on an island at Buford. That's kind of what he did. He took away your best wide receiver by being physical with him. So you're losing a guy in a decommitment who not only knows how to be physical, but routinely went up against one of the best wide receivers in the 2019 class, two of which are on the same roster at Oklahoma, and he was speaking so highly of being able to go up against Jadon Haswelwood, CeeDee Lamb, Theo Weiss, Trajan Bridges. He was looking forward to it, but the staff change was just a little too much. I also think that the offers being sent out, like they've been being sent out, aren't necessarily signaling to the guys that are committed at defensive back that you're our future, especially since Grinch apparently wants to do a different kind of defense, right? He's not going to be running Mike Stoops' scheme. He's going to be running his scheme. So he is given an opportunity to build out his scheme. That means finding recruits that fit it in the future as well, not just the guys you already have on campus. This can go either way. You can look at this as a good thing. You can look at this as a bad thing. I'm going to leave the verdict undecided for now because I want to see what guys they get committed and signed at defensive back. And then I want to see how the 2019 defense plays to see if the evaluations match up with the scheme that you're running and what you need. All right, that's it for me. You know that we upload every single day, sometimes multiple times a day, but at 6 p.m. on the daily, guaranteed to have something drop right here on this channel. I will see you tomorrow. Deuces.